Hello, boys and girls. I am Miss Becky. Each week, I'll be here to share encouraging and uplifting stories with you, just the way Miss Kathy would have wanted us to. Trouble with Friends. Willie rolled out of his room, his brown hair still wet but combed neatly. Leaning over to pick up his books from the floor, he was attacked by a wet tongue. "Coco! Stop licking me!" Coco jumped up onto Willie's lap and wagged his tail. Because he was so small, Coco could stand in Willie's lap with his paws on Willie's chest and lick Willie's face. He liked to lick Willie's face. Sometimes Willie didn't mind, but right now he was in a hurry. All right. Good morning, Coco. Now get down. I have to hurry or I'll be late for school." Coco hopped down and sat looking at Willie with sad eyes. "Next week you get to go with me, Coco. Next week on my pet day. So behave, and I'll see you after school." Later, at his desk, Willie looked toward the front of the room and smiled. His desk was near the back wall by the windows, so he would have more room for his wheelchair. He liked sitting behind everyone else. He always knew who finished their work first. Usually it was Ashley or Carmen. They were best friends and were always racing to finish their work, but when it was time for reading, Willie always finished first. He liked to read more than almost anything else. Just then, Willie saw Max pass a note to Lucas. They both snickered quietly. Then Lucas stretched forward with his foot toward Gary's desk in front of him. Gary's books were stacked neatly beside the desk. Lucas pushed and slid the books farther up by Gary's feet. Just then the recess bell rang. Gary jumped up to go and knocked his books all over the floor. "Oh, too bad," Lucas laughed as he stepped by. Max laughed too. "See you on the playground, Gary, if you get your mess cleaned up soon enough." Willie just stared. Then he saw Max looking back at him. For some reason, he laughed with Max. "Have fun, Gary," he said, and rolled to the door. Max stopped and held the door open for him. Wow, Willie thought, maybe Max wants to be friends. Max was the most popular guy in the class. He was always chosen first in games and programs. Everyone wanted to be his friend. But he only hung around with Lucas and maybe 2 or 3 other guys. "Hey, Max, that sure was a funny trick with Gary's books." "Yeah, I guess it was." "Say, Willie," Max said, clapping him on the back, "why don't you play catch with us this recess? You've got a glove, right?" "Sure do. It's right here in my backpack," Willie said excitedly. All right, he thought. Max does want to be friends. Catching a fast one from Max on the playground, Willie felt good. He knew that most of the other boys wished they were playing catch with Max and Lucas. He zipped a fastball to Lucas, who tossed it to Max. But when Max aimed one at Willie, it went way over his head. Willie twirled around and shouted to the kids on the basketball court, "Hey, could you throw us the ball?" Candy stopped playing long enough to grab the ball and throw it as hard as she could toward the boys. It went past Max and Lucas, way over toward the school building. "Thanks for nothing," Max yelled at her. "Stupid girl," Lucas yelled. Willie wanted to say, "Hey, at least she tried," but the bell rang and everyone rushed to the drinking fountain. Later that afternoon, Willie was in his backyard playing catch with Coco. "Are you ready, Coco?" "Yep, yep, yep," Coco answered. Willie tossed the red rubber ball high in the air across the yard to where Coco waited. He thought about the day as Coco dashed about the bouncing ball. More than anything, he wanted to be friends with Max and Lucas, but he wasn't sure about how they treated other kids. Oh, well, he decided. Gary probably thought his books being knocked over was funny, too. And I don't think Candy even heard them call her stupid. Coco jumped up and dropped the sticky wet ball in Willie's lap. Then Coco ran back across the yard to be ready for the next throw. "Today isn't the day I'd take Coco to your school, is it?" Mrs. Teller asked the next morning at breakfast. "No, Mom," Willie answered. "That's next Friday. Today 5 other kids are bringing their pets." At the first recess, the kids in his class were all gathering around to see the 5 pets. Ashley and Matt brought their cats. Matt's cat stayed in her carrying cage. She was afraid of all the noisy kids. But Ashley's cat loved all the petting and just lay on the back table and purred. Carter and John had their dogs on leashes tied to their desks, and Carmen had her white mouse, Wilfred, in a cage on her desk. Max and Lucas were at their desks talking. So Willie rolled over and joined them. "Hey, guys," he said. Lucas kept talking. "These pets are so boring. Too bad they don't start fighting or something." "That's a good idea," Max said. "Let's get Carmen's mouse out. Then maybe Ashley's cat will chase it and maybe eat it." "Yeah," Lucas added. "I don't know which will be more fun, watching the cat and mouse run or watching Ashley and Carmen scream at each other about it. Let's do it before lunch." Willie wasn't sure. What if the cat really kills Carmen's mouse? "So what?" Max said. "It's just a stupid mouse." Just then, Mrs. Thurber said, "Everyone find your desks, please. Carmen, please put your mouse on the table at the back so you can have room to work." After a few minutes of math, Willie saw a note drop onto his desk. He opened it and read, "Willie, open the mouse cage now." He looked at the cage right by his desk and looked at Max and Lucas. They nodded their heads and moved their lips to say, "Do it, do it." Willie tried to think. He really did want to be their friend. He wanted to be popular, too. Then he looked at little Wilfred, wiggling his pink nose. He didn't want Wilfred to die. He knew how he would feel if something happened to Coco. "But what will Max and Lucas say if I don't?" he thought to himself. "They'll call me stupid and stop letting me hang around them." Not sure what to do, Willie closed his eyes and prayed. When he opened them, Max was staring right at him. "Open the cage now," Max moved his lips to say. Willie looked back at him. "No," he said quietly and shook his head. Max rolled his eyes and leaned over to whisper to Lucas. Lucas looked back angrily and whispered something back to Max. Willie knew that their friendship with him was over. At Sabbath School the next day, he told the story to his friends. "And I was right. They ignored me the rest of the day. But Mrs. Shue, I think I should put a footprint on the board." "Why, Willie?" she asked. "Even though I wanted to be friends with Max, I didn't want to be a mean person. The footprint means that Jesus was there, and I know he was because he gave me the courage to do what was right." The story you have heard today is from the Shoebox Kids Bible Stories, written by Jerry D. Thomas and used with permission from the Pacific Press Publishing Association. If you're interested in any other books published by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, please visit AdventistBookCenter.com or call 1-800-765-6955.
This podcast is a production of the Carolina Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.